You are down a rook in this position, but in fact, if you use your brain, you can draw the game. Yes, you're down a rook, but look closely at the arrangement of their rooks, and look what you can do to deliver checks to the black king to somehow make it a draw. Pause the video and try and figure it out, and I'll be back with the solution. Okay, I'm back, and for everyone that had a go, you're probably thinking, okay, how do I do this? They have rooks, they're gonna check me, and I don't think I can make this a draw. Now, the first thing you consider are checks, but let's say rook h8, this doesn't work too well, just king comes up, and you don't have a good way to eventually lock this, like defend their checks, right? That's the main thing what we're trying to do. If we try and defend the pawn, now they can go check, and now the king will be forced away. They can clear the rooks, and we lose the arrangement, the only arrangement we had to actually capture one of these rooks, and that's the hint I'll give you. Now, because of that, the actual move we play is not this. We play rook b6 check. Well done if you got this. Now, what's the point? Now, if they go to c7, we want to give a check here on c6. Give a check. Now, it's not a perpetual. We can't just give checks and checks. They will come to b7. Now, you don't have a check. But you have the key move. Rook to c2, defending against this check. Now, they can't check you anymore. If the rook comes here, you'll simply take it. It will be a draw. And if you notice what's going on, it's a zugzwang in a way, where this rook, if it moves, you will take this rook. And if this rook moves, you will take the other rook. And if either rook gives a check, you will just simply take the rook. That's why we played rook c2. Brilliant move. Now, they can play the move king b6, going after the pawn. Now, we don't want to give them the pawn. That would be a big mistake because the king would come down and eventually chase away our rook. We defend the pawn, and actually, it's just a draw. They can't do any movement with the rooks, otherwise we take the other rook. And if they move the king now, let's say they bring the king in, here, in fact, we can just push the pawn. And now the pawn is becoming a queen, so they have to be careful not to lose this. Their best move is something like rook a1, but we simply take, and it's just a draw. And if they don't, let's say they go back, here we play b7, they can still make a draw, but let's say by giving the check, they still make a draw. But let's say they don't. Let's say they play a move like king goes back. Now they're losing. So I could see this happening in like a 500 elo game, like something like this. I've seen quite a bit. But yeah, that is essentially the solution. But there's a few nuances. They can also play moves such as king a7, which if you're wondering, okay, in this position, if they played king to a7, you do the same thing, but you do it on a2 rather than c2. You accomplish the same task, and everything is the exact same. Check, I take this rook. Check, I take this rook, and it is simply a draw. So well done if you saw the pattern of rook b6, bringing the rook to c2 or a2, and rook a6. Well done to you. Like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you think there's another solution, and subscribe to the ReelChess channel in the West.